One of the reasons why I love SIG is that as a company, they're not afraid to innovate and be a tech leader in the space, even if the product might still have some issues by the time it does come out. And that has also been the case with the SIG original BDX scopes and the BDX pairs between the rifle scopes and the rangefinders, such as the Sierra 3 BDX. This is the long-awaited and much improved SIG SAUER6BDX line of rifle scope. The one I have here is the 5-30, and these are also available in the 2-12 and the 3-18. So what these are scopes that are catered towards hunters, particularly long-range hunters. However, I believe these are also ideal for anyone who's getting into longer-range target shooting as well. The Sierra 6 lineup of scopes by SIG are what they call digital focal plane rifle scopes, and a good way of thinking about them is as a second focal plane rifle scope with a BDC reticle that will change based on the magnification, thereby combining the benefits of first and second focal plane. That, however, is not the only thing, and these are really meant to work together with either BDX-enabled rangefinder, such as an individual rangefinder, or binoculars that have a rangefinder in them, once again with the SIG BDX technology. What you're going to do with that, if you have that capability, you're simply able to take your rangefinder, range the target, and it'll send the solution directly to your scope, and you're going to get two dots that you're going to have to line up, and that is your shooting solution, no matter the magnification. The way that that is accomplished is going to be that the SIG rangefinders are paired with an app, and what they have is the Applied Ballistics Ultralight engine. So if you're ranging any targets out to 800 yards, you can automatically send the shooting solution directly to the rifle scope without having to do any additional math or input. Simply range the target and it goes right to the rifle scope. If you pair it with a Kestrel device, basically a wind reader or a ballistic device, you're able to then get a shooting solution out to 4,000 yards. So with these scopes, you can use them as a regular rifle scope as well, and if you don't have a rangefinder, you're going to be able to have the capability through the SIG BDX app on your phone, where you would input the solutions and then it would send it to the scope as well. So with the Sierra 6, once again, you have a 6-time magnification range, which is one of the big improvements over the original Sierra 3. This one here is a 5-30, making it perfect for long-range hunters or even target shooters, even out to a mile or even past a mile. You'll definitely be able to see it. Taking a quick look around the scope, right here you're going to have your magnification ring adjustment, and you do have this throw lever that's already built in, and you can remove it if you don't want it to snag if you're going out hunting rather than going target shooting. Even if you do remove it, you do have this fast focus shark fin, which you can also remove as well if you don't want to have it on there. On the back or front, depending on which direction you're looking at, you also have the fast focus eyepiece, and this would be the first thing that you would set for your vision, because if this is off, everything else is off. Generally, if you wear glasses, whether you're nearsighted or farsighted, that should tell you that you're going to need to adjust this. So the fast focus eyepiece, really what you're looking for is you're setting the focus on the reticle to make sure you have that in focus before you make any adjustments to the parallax. On top here, you will find a little bit of a change. So one of the things they did with the Sierra 6 BDX is they moved the Bluetooth module to the top of the eyepiece here rather than on the bottom. So this is going to improve the signal strength that you're going to be able to get. Moving forward, you have your typical scope settings. On top you have your elevation adjustment, and on the side you have your windage adjustment. So yes, these are capped scope turrets, however you can still easily adjust the turrets. If you've played with the other ones, you'll definitely appreciate that the turrets on here are much nicer. They're very solid, they're very tactile, they are very audible, although they're not huge. And the reason for that is because you're really not meant to adjust it beyond once you've sighted the scope in for your zero, for whether it's a 100-yard zero or whatever you want to zero it in. You're just gonna put the caps back on and you're gonna be set. So these are both MOA turrets, and they are 1 click is a quarter MOA. Big improvement over the previous generation is that now you have 60 MOA worth of internal elevation adjustment, meaning if you're putting this on a rifle with a 20 or 30 MOA scope base, you should be able to get a zero still. On the side here, you do have your parallax adjustment, which is one of the things that you would be playing with. And on this scope, you have a 50-yard to infinity parallax adjustment, and there's a good amount of distance between 200 and infinity. Once again, re-emphasizing the point, this is a longer range scope and not something that you would put onto your rimfire pistol or something to shoot with under 25 or 30 yards. And then on the side here, you have your final knob, your final dial, which is for turning on the scope system itself and the illumination settings. So on the scope, you have 10 settings, 8 of which are daytime settings, and then 2 of them are night vision settings. And then you do have an off function here as well. You are going to use this dial for 2 things. Number 1 is you're going to be using it to actually set the illumination levels of your scope. And the other thing you're going to be using this for is to, if you're not planning on using this with an app, you'll be using the dial knob to tell the scope what ballistic profile you're shooting so that it can preload some tables for you, and all of that is in the instructions. Once again, the biggest thing with the scope and what you're getting is the illuminated digital focal plane. Biggest improvement with this scope is, once again, the digital reticle. The reticle has 145 vertical elevation adjustment points, and then you have 47 horizontal adjustment points, thereby giving you a much more precise hold for your windage and elevation adjustment. Now, you do have lines, and I'll put a picture of the reticle up here so you can see it. You do have a tree reticle, however, the dots on the tree do not light up. You will only have 1 dot on the elevation and 1 dot on the windage line up, and then you just have to cross them and meet them. And the whole point of the Christmas tree reticle is to help you align to where you're supposed to be. So get the shooting solution either through a rangefinder or by putting it in through the app, and then just line up the dots, pull the trigger, and you're good to go. So that is the SIG Sierra 6 BDX rifle scope, and I definitely love the scope. Big, waited for over a year in order to get this, and you'll be soon seeing it on my YouTube channel as well. So that is the Sierra 6 BDX rifle scope.